Yeah.
All right, my name is Jason Price. I work at Commercial Properties Incorporated. Matthew works with me in Commercial Properties Incorporated. He does a fantastic job. He's our drone pilot and our video editor. And together we put together a piece that you'll all get emailed to you called the Marketing Best Practices Quick Resource Guide. So when you get back home and you forgot everything that we talked about today, you can have a reference sheet to get back into it quickly. So with that, I'm gonna let Matthew start, but we'll probably want to go around the room and say hello.
Yeah, I'm Matthew. Yeah, I work in at CPI, and I do brochures, I do drone videos, and we're gonna go over some of the drone stuff and talk about some social media stuff and a little bit of AI stuff today. So did you want to go around the room and introduce people, or how did you want to do that?
Yeah, Hannah, do you want to start?
I see some familiar faces, but I'm Hannah. I work for L. Mason Capitani in Michigan. Sam and I are the marketing duo of the firm, and we handle all incoming listings, outgoing listings, flyers, social media, everything you could think of, really. Sam?
Yeah, I'm the marketing assistant. So I just help Hannah with whatever she needs. We're kind of a team. We work together, doing all the marketing.
Thank you. Chelsea?
I'm Chelsea, First Capital Property Group Orlando. Michaela and I are the duo team at our firm. Yeah, anything that falls under the marketing, advertising, branding, event planning, umbrellas, we wear those hats. So yeah, including drone. We're both licensed as well.
Cool. Is that hard?
You're basically becoming a pilot. It was a lot of like studying, and it was a proctor test at a offsite testing center and all the things.
I know. I know. I'm sorry.
It's legit. I don't think I took my license out, put my room key in my phone, but normally it's there. Smaller room.
I'm Gab. I work with Wolf Commercial Real Estate. I'm the marketing director there. I do everything from social, email, SEO, all website, back end. We manage over 80 blogs. Basically mirroring everything that Chelsea said she does. I also do, minus the drone. So
You did 80 blogs?
yeah.
Wow.
Manage over 80 blog sites plus our website.
That's impressive.
I mean, she covered it. I'm Michaela. Yeah. Honestly, anything that's needed.
I'm Caitlin. I work at Duncan Commercial out of Global, and we're a pretty small company, so I'm a one-woman show. So pretty much do all that same stuff minus the drone footage.
And I'm Patricia Trulagos. I'm with Corfax. I'm Matthew. We email back and forth all the time. Matthew does the editing for our videos that we shoot here, and Wilson was just in one. So you'll be, well, he can't see you right now, but he'll see a lot of you the next couple of weeks.
Just say hi.
I'll make you look good.
There you go.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
I'm Wilson Cummings. I'm actually a broker. And I'm into videos. I think videos are probably the future of marketing. And I actually showed up to just hear more because I'm fascinated by it.
Well, hello, I'm Michelle. I'm with King Industrial as well. Many hats, manager, marketing, social media, you name it. That's what we do.
Just keeps me out of trouble.
And that too.
Mary?
Hi, I'm Mary Grace, and yeah, I mainly focus on social media, but also I help Michelle with a lot of the marketing fun stuff. And yeah,
Can't get everybody in, but we'll do our best. All right.
Sweet. To get started, I guess I have to share my screen to start. Give me one sec.
Oh,
Okay, can you see that okay?
hold on just a second.
yes.
And then, yeah, you'll, yeah.
Good. Okay, so to start, we're gonna talk about the drone videos that we do over at CPI. I've been doing them for I think like 4 or 5 years now. I think to start, I guess I could just show like an example of one of the drone videos that we use or that we've done. This is for one of our industrial properties that we are currently selling.
This was a land deal before this project was built from the ground up. So this was a pure spec. Small bay industrial, 173 square foot, 173,000 square foot project in an advanced manufacturing zone. And Matthew had to gather all the assets from Google Earth and get all the inbound. We had to gather all the inbound information from the airport so that he could do some drone video. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so this is a good example of a drone video that has a mixture of actual drone footage and then some of the Google Earth Studio stuff we're going to talk about. The drone footage that I do, I edit in Adobe After Effects. That kind of allows me to do a lot of the tracking type stuff you'll see, like this. And it lets me cut it together and everything, do some of like the motion graphics and everything. And yeah, as far as like the actual going out to drone it, we have a DJI drone. It's just a DJI Mini 3. It's brand new, really nice, a lot of fun. And yeah, this one I think I did like a couple years ago. Super easy to fly. Just get multiple shots and bring it back and get to editing. But let me show you what it looks like in, or actually first, let me go over some of the Google Earth stuff. So this Google Earth Studio, this allows me to do these kinds of shots, which is it literally just utilizes Google Earth to create basically drone footage. Usually you wouldn't be able to get up this high, obviously, with a drone, so you're able to cover more. In order to get Google Earth Studio, you have to just search Google Earth Studio, and if you click this Try Google Earth Studio up here, it takes you to, for me, it automatically logs me in, but for you, it will take you to like a sign up form, basically. You have to request to get access to this, but I think you just enter in your whatever it is that you're working on and you end up getting access. So in Google Earth Studio, you are able to basically do kind of some of the same stuff that you would in a drone video. I'm gonna pull up an example of one that I was just working on the other day. This one, is a property we have in Buckeye. And basically what you're seeing here is a bunch of keyframes where you're allowed to go around Google Earth, find your property, set a point that you want to look at. So, for example, this was one point, and then basically if you zoom into the next point you want to go to, you can add keyframes here a little bit forward, and it'll go straight over there. And so this kind of just lets you, without having to use a drone, create drone videos. So this one just kind of starts out wide, zooms in, and then zooms into the property. These little dots that you see everywhere, these are tracking points that you can take into Adobe After Effects. And that's basically what you'll use to create like pop-ups and kind of label things. To do that, you would just go up here and go to the, I think it's like ad trackers or something like that. But this, yeah, so this is all just like blank. You don't really see anything on here. Let me try to show you what it looks like with everything on it. Are you able to see that okay?
Yeah.
So this, let's see. This is currently I'm in After Effects right now. It's gonna go kind of like laggy because of just like the playback. But here you'll see that I was able to import this, add all these pop-ups. And yeah, so you're able to label highways. All of these animations that I use, they're called call outs in here, but you're able, you can download like different packages. I'll show you a website where you can download these. And these allow you to just kind of like edit them and export them and then bring them into your video. So this one was kind of crazy, actually. A lot of animation went into this one. But that's kind of what the workflow looks like when you're using After Effects and stuff.
Matthew, you want to talk about how long it takes for your computer to render that, and you've got a backup hard drive?
Yeah, so I use a hard drive just specifically for the video editing. It's just like an external hard drive. Depending on your computer capabilities, it kind of give or take on what it actually takes to render it. Mine, we just recently upgraded my computer over at CPI, so it's a lot better than it used to be. But I mean, usually if you like export something, you can expect it to take at least like half an hour, sometimes up to a couple hours, depending on what it is that you're making. But yeah, any questions on the drone video stuff? I know that you guys said, some people said that they do drone videos. I'm curious if how it is that they go about those and if they use any different kinds of software or anything like that.
So we do drone videos, but when we're editing, we are currently just doing that in Canva. We have aspirations to do these things that you're showing us, but the learning curve for After Effects at the moment demands too much time to learn to get to where we can do it. It's just taking away from other things, so we haven't had a chance, but hopefully, like the packages you just mentioned, if we can get that linked, that might help us adopt faster, if that's one less thing we have to like figure out how to do.
Yeah, After Effects is definitely a learning curve. It took me a while to figure it out, and I'm still learning new things about it all the time. Everything I learned, like video editing wise and through After Effects, I literally learned from YouTube. So if that makes you feel any better, that's good. Just watch a whole lot of YouTube videos on how to do all this different stuff. And then for the Google Earth Studio, that's a lot less like intensive. If you did want to try to utilize this, I think you can even export using Google Earth Studio, just like basic labels as opposed to like the animated ones I showed you. So that would be like a good way to get started. I've done entire drone videos using only Google Earth Studio before, as long as it has like the 3D rendered area, you can kind of do that. I've done that for like land parcels. So if this would be like a good option if you were trying to just do something a little more simple than diving all the way into After Effects. Anybody else? Anybody else have questions?
So I use Rush for creating videos and stuff like that. I've used it, like, I have a drone person that does our drone footage. I don't do it specifically, but he'll give me the raw footage. And then I put everything together through Rush. Have you utilized that? And if you have, what, like, would you say would be the difference between After Effects and Rush? And what do you think is more benefited?
Yeah, so Rush that's like Premiere Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Rush is basically like a trimmed down version of Premiere, which is Adobe's video editing software. Premiere is like if you're cutting stuff together, you know, like you're just basically like cutting a basic video together. After Effects is more focused on like motion graphic type stuff. Like kind of some of the stuff that I've shown you. But
Yeah.
Adobe Rush is like a really just like easier way to kind of get into the video editing. It's a little easier to learn than something like After Effects or Premiere. So it's not going to be able to do all the things like that you would be able to do in After Effects, for example. But it is a good way to just, if you're cutting together drone footage. Sorry, say that one more time.
I'm sorry, can you give an example? Just because like you're talking about the moving graphics, but I can do that in Rush as well. So that's why I'm asking.
Like the difference between After Effects and Rush. Yeah, let me show you. Let me go back to After Effects real quick. So, some of the things that the After Effects timeline is going to look different than the Premiere timeline. Trying to think of like what usually it's kind of similar with like the different projects over here, and then you have your timeline down here. After Effects has it's more like the effects, I guess, that you can get out of After Effects. For example, these animations, they use like a lot of different masking and stuff. You'll see like this huge drop down of all the things that this one thing is utilizing to create this animation. It's just kind of it's a little more complex than Premiere is able to do. I've used Premiere a lot, and Premiere there are also YouTube videos on how to just like utilize. For the longest time, I only used Premiere because I was scared of using After Effects, and I tried to do as much as I possibly could out of there. But whenever you're getting to some of the more complex stuff like this, it's a little harder. But luckily, if you wanted to just use Premiere, they have a little bit of motion tracking stuff. They don't have stuff where you can plot out like the exact dots on like a video footage, for example. That's probably like one of the main things that After Effects can do that Premiere can't when it comes to like these drone videos. But if you're editing on Premiere, like that's totally a viable option, and you just wouldn't be able to get some of like the specifics if you're trying to like do motion graphics within here. But it's definitely a good option to use.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna ask y'all, have y'all ever outsourced your post-production of the drone videos, or y'all do it all in-house?
We are full in-house, firm. We don't outsource anything.
Okay,
I outsource.
you did?
Yes.
We had a situation once where we had to get footage from an outside company, but then we took it in and we did our own editing. But the pricing is pretty high too.
So that was gonna be my follow-up, so what is something like that? I mean, I have a drone, I take all my own pictures, my
Yeah.
own videos, but I don't do any post-production type stuff.
Yeah.
Mine's pretty basic. And this is what he's doing is well produced, and I just didn't. You see them and then didn't hand them off to somebody? That's what I would like to do. But I get, that's what I get my own photos that way, you know, or get, I walk through videos sometimes, I get my own stuff that way.
If you have the footage and you call a company that does it, and you could say like, hey, I have the footage, I just need some help editing it. Sometimes they'll give you a price discount on what they normally charge. That's how we did in the reverse, was we said, hey, we're gonna handle all the editing, but we just need the footage because we couldn't get somebody out there at the time. I think our drone was down or something.
Yeah, I mean, there are big companies that do these drone videos and they're like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You can also use like Fiverr. If you go on there and try to find like a video editor, that would be a good option if you already have the drone footage. To try to just have somebody edit the video for a lot cheaper.
We're about to try and use Fiverr, and we found a guy, we just sent him a Google Drive link with all of our videos and photos and everything, and he said he could do it for like $30, so maybe.
30?
Yeah, maybe I'll get your information, I'll let you know how the video turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fiverr is nice because you find a lot cheaper stuff. Another option, so this is just After Effects. This is where you can go to download that. Another option that's free that isn't After Effects but has like the same capabilities is DaVinci Resolve. This is actually like basically movies use this to edit their movies. But it's another thing that would allow you to do some of like the tracking and stuff that you saw in After Effects. It's a little different, but it is free. There is a free option, so free is always good. And then yeah, you already kind of talked about like Adobe Rush. That was the other one I was gonna say, was like Adobe Express is just like a simple way to do you wouldn't be able to do like drone videos per se, but if we wanted to get into like talking social media posts and stuff like that, I feel like Adobe Express and Adobe Rush would be like a simple easy learning curve to create this kind of stuff. They have a lot of templates that you can just go in and easily create. Is there anything else on the drone stuff that you guys wanted to talk about, or?
Share that resource of the packages for those pieces, even if it's just in the chat, or send it to one of us.
Yeah, so the motion graphic type stuff, I have a lot of assets that I'd be happy to share if anybody wanted to get their hands on those. I have a bunch of like the pop out type stuff that you saw. I have like transition type stuff. I also have like promo type stuff where you can take it into After Effects and it's just automatically created for you, and all you have to do is like edit texts and edit pictures and stuff like that. I get all of that from this website called Storyblocks. This from here you can download. It's like a subscription plan. Usually what I end up doing is I subscribe for a month, I go and I download a bunch of stuff and then I unsubscribe. But this has like a bunch of motion graphics, like logo graphics, any kind of templates that you might be interested in. There's a lot of stuff in here. And this you can do this in After Effects. They have Premiere option stuff. I think they have DaVinci Resolve stuff as well. So this is where I get pretty much all those assets, and it's easy to just like edit those because it's usually just like the text that you edit. So you don't have to create all those crazy graphics.
And you get unlimited downloads with that, or is it based on plan?
Yeah, so with the plan that you get, depending on which plan you get, The one that I get has like unlimited access. So you can literally go $30, download a million things, and then unsubscribe. That's what I do all the time.
Okay, so hypothetically, there's not a core fact person repping here, but hypothetically, if core fact wanted to spend $30 a month. And then all the core fact firm marketing individuals could then share that login information. That seems like it could be beneficial.
Yeah, for sure. That would be amazing. I know I would like that.
Yeah, I mean, $30 a month for, it's like nothing, core fact is.
It's 15 cents a firm a month.
That's not
I like those numbers.
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys want to move on to social media post type stuff? Some of the
Just
stuff.
check. Can you check the chat really fast, please?
Oh, yeah. If I can figure out how.
Sorry, it's noisy in my office, so I'm trying to mute myself, but
I think I have to. Oh, here we go.
Right next
The
to
chat. How do you import or overlay renderings to your Google Earth images of vacant land? So Google Earth Studio, another thing for the fee, there's no fee, it is free. And then the way that you would do this in Google Earth Studio is when you click render, you can export this as, it has this After Effects JSX thing right here. You would check that, and this is basically gonna export it as, I don't know what the exact file type is on it, but it creates a folder, downloads it, and then whenever you go into After Effects, go back real quick. When you go into After Effects, you can do file scripts, and then you run a script file. And basically you just go and you find that script file that you downloaded. You go into that folder, and whenever you click the script file, it basically like uploads the entire thing in your timeline. It'll pop up all of the trackers that you added. It'll basically like layer them in After Effects. It'll like already create the camera. So basically it makes it so that whenever you're in After Effects, you can take like those motion graphics that you're trying to do, or if you were just using whatever they imported, you can take this little squiggly thing down here and you would link it to that tracking, and it would automatically like track with the motion basically. And to understand more of that, I would recommend like watching like YouTube videos on just like, there are YouTube videos on like how to use Google Earth Studio in After Effects. And they're really helpful for figuring out how all the tracking and stuff works. Is there anything else? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So for social media type stuff, I just wanted to kind of show, this is one of our agents who does a really good job of posting social media videos for a lot of pretty much all their properties. He actually utilizes like a freelance person to create these videos, and he literally just, I think, goes and walks the property and sends it over to them. And they're able to do like motion graphics and stuff like that. This is the kind of stuff that you could do in like After Effects. You could definitely do this in Premiere, since you can do like basic motion graphics in there. But this, in my opinion, is like a really good way to just like show off the property in a simple way where you're doing like a walkthrough or something like that. And I'm sure that you guys do stuff like this already. This is an example that we do where sometimes for like just sold listings, we'll create like a little graphic. This is a really simple like GIF that I made in Premiere. It's literally just like 4 boxes that rotate and animate. It's just another way to like, I feel like whenever you're scrolling through like social media, they always say that like motion catches your eye. So even something simple as this that could just be a picture, I think it's a bit more interesting when it becomes a video, and that's something that you can make in Premiere.
How would you say creating something like that took you?
Sorry, say that again. I couldn't hear you.
How long would you say it took you to create that type of a graphic?
Oh, something like this. I feel like I probably made this in like an hour tops. And then once you make it, then I mean, as far as editing it, if you're doing it multiple times, like for a different property, then you would just have to go in and change the text and change the picture out. I feel like a lot of video editing is you make it once and then you have it forever and you're able to do things a lot quicker after that first time you create it.
Did you say you made that in After Effects also?
I think I made this one in Premiere. But
Okay.
you can make it in After Effects.
Is it kind of like you save a template or you just save as every time you make a different property?
So basically what you would do is when you make you would have your Premiere project that you make this in. Anytime that I'm like switching from, all right, I have this made, I have a new property I'm gonna do, I usually just like copy the Premiere project and then
Okay.
save it as like a new file, and then I'll go in and edit like the text and stuff like that, just so that I still have that other version.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
Similar. That's what we're typically using to create the graphics for social media because it is such a high volume for those, since we're doing it for the companies and all of our brokers as well. So I'm just curious how it compares I mean, time is much quicker on Canva, but if there's certain features that Canva can't do.
No, I think that like stuff like Canva and Adobe Express are like really good ways to do stuff like this. I personally, I just use Premiere and After Effects all the time, so I'm the only thing about like using Canva and like Express is usually you're working off of like templates and stuff, and it might not be quite as might not be able to edit things as specifically as you might want, I guess you could say.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, Canva and stuff like Express are great ways to do stuff like this.
Well, to be fair, you're talking about an hour because you have to get the agent's approval on the information that's there, and sometimes, you know, that takes a couple of back and forths, so.
And with these agents, they come back with 20 different edits. So
Gotcha. We understand. Okay.
Something like Canva, if you have like a a template that you already use, like that's an awesome way to do it.
We're a particular type of show.
Yeah, particular, that's a good.
Until we see it. Exactly.
And then this is just another example of something that's more focused on kind of promoting the company and just I think I've noticed, I forget which one of the Corfac firms did stuff like this, but we actually saw that they were doing stuff like this, so we wanted to create something like this, and so we'll post these for like anniversaries and birthdays, and this is also I think made in Premiere. I'm sure that Canva and Adobe Express and stuff like that have templates for stuff like this.
Yeah.
I don't think I got one of those. You did. Oh, did I? Yeah. I even commented on it.
One other thing that we could talk about is which is something that we don't personally or we don't do. There's something that we don't really do at CPI, but I think that something like Instagram Reels is probably a really interesting thing to look into as far as if you were to put just like a vertical video of like a property promoting it, Instagram Reels has like their, algorithm where I feel like if you were a real estate agent, you'd probably get sucked into that kind of stuff. So that might be an interesting avenue. I don't know if anyone uses like Adobe Reels or sorry, Instagram Reels or anything for that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. Dimensions.
Is there any questions, or does anybody else have examples of things that they're doing for social media type posts for video? Let me check the chat too. That's the wrong chat. If there aren't any questions on that, I do have some AI stuff that we could talk about if you guys want to talk about that. Some of the main stuff I wanted to talk about was I've been using AI a lot for brochures. Personally, I use Google Gemini, which is their generative text model. You can use ChatGPT. It's the same, pretty much the same thing. I actually have like the paid version because I just use it so much. I thought it was worth it. But I kind of wanted to show an example of this is when I first started using Gemini. I wanted to create just like some descriptions for properties that we had to create the brochure. So this is an example of just like what I asked from Gemini, like saying that I'm subleasing this thing and I need a executive summary. And this is what it came back with. As I've used Gemini, I've kind of trained this thing to basically make me brochures, like to the point where this is just one template that I use that has a lot of just like descriptions and stuff like that. But I've gotten this one chat in Gemini to basically be like, I'll enter all the building information in, like square footages, anything that I want in there. I'll enter it in there and then I'll say, all right, create the first page. And it comes back with something like the text that you would see like right here. I ask it like, okay, on the second page, I need you to make me summary about the thing that I provided, and I have 4 pictures on the bottom. I need 4 highlights, and it'll go in and create 4 different bullet points and 4 different, or sorry, a description for it and stuff like that. I'll move on to the next page. I'll be like, okay, I need something for a site plan. Can you give me 3 highlights that would be good for a site plan? I've been using Gemini a lot for that kind of thing. Has anyone else been using AI type stuff for brochures or anything like that?
We use ChatGPT sometimes for like social captions, but we don't have the paid version, so it takes a lot of explaining to get a good result.
Yeah, I don't know when I first started using Google Gemini, I didn't use the paid version, and I feel like it gave good results. I feel like the thing with AI is it kind of depends on what you put into it. So I've noticed like the more simple question I ask, the simpler answer it'll give back. So whenever I do these, I mean, I type an entire paragraph with all the stuff that I want to get out of it. So then it gives me a more, I don't know, robust answer, I guess you could say. I also use this, like on CoStar, you have like property descriptions and property highlights, stuff like that. This is a really good way to generate just like really good language as far as descriptions and stuff like that.
Yeah, we had a situation where a couple agents picked up a listing and they didn't know anything about the area. And this was really helpful because we're just in the marketing department, we don't know the area. But, you know, they gave us some basic information and Matthew was able to take that basic information and basically build out a description of the area and what goes on over there and why is it attractive and what are the features and benefits.
Is the information like up to date? Like going back to 2024 or 2023, like
Do you
when you're doing that, is it up to date information? Because I know ChatGPT, like the unpaid version, I think is like what, 2022, like 2021, but like, is that the same with Gemini?
What's your experience with that? Do you have any struggles with that? I haven't noticed that.
Yeah, so I mean, one thing that is like the biggest caveat with AI is like, is the information correct? I try not to, I try to use it mostly for like making things sound better, I guess you could say. Where I kind of feed it the information that I'm kind of looking for, and then it makes it sound good for me. Stuff like location descriptions. I mean, this is just one where I wanted a location overview of Surprise. And it gave me this right here that kind of highlighted some of the specific things. You can also in Google Gemini, you can like ask it to use Google Maps to kind of look around the area and point out like things that it thinks would be good for an office property or something like that.
You always have to proofread it though. to
Yeah,
like-
of course.
And you try
Yeah.
not to put anything in there that's like gonna expire, like
Mhm.
population or things like that, because that's gonna change all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I never really ask it like, hey, what's the population of this? I usually will be like, this is like sometimes I'll for like demographics, for example, I've done brochures where I'll put in all the demographics into Gemini and then I ask it to like, can you like give me like a summary of like what this means basically? And it'll type out just like a little paragraph kind of describing what those specific demographics might mean for someone who's trying to buy this property. This is an example where I wanted like a tenant overview for this specific company. A great thing about like these AI bots is that they can kind of talk conversationally where I wanted it altered and you can ask it to alter specific things. You can like highlight, oh, I don't like what you said here, modify this one part of the text and regenerate it, make it shorter, make it longer. This is just one really helpful thing that I've been doing with brochures.
I'd say it helps us make things more robust for when we get very little information sometimes. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we used to like I'm not like a great writer per se, you know, and like it kind of takes like a writer to make some of this stuff, and as long as you have the information, it's really helpful just creating this kind of stuff. And yeah, it'll turn something that seems like you have no information into something that sounds a bit more full, I guess you could say.
Definitely helps get the ball rolling and then we let the agent review it. And if they like it or if they want to make changes, then we modify it.
right.
And then I don't know if you guys have you been using like the new features in like Photoshop and Illustrator. They have a lot of new AI features. I mostly use it for stuff like, I don't know, like the stuff that used to take forever in Photoshop where I'm trying to like edit out something, say like a sign. You can now just like outline it, click generate, generative fill, and then it pretty much gets rid of it pretty, I wouldn't say perfectly, but pretty good.
Yeah, I use that probably every day of the week.
Yeah.
I like that you can change your prompt after you've already generated it too. So you can be like, remove this, but add this, and it'll do it all in the same thing and give you like 3 different versions at a time.
I have this example of like a picture of a property that, I mean, it's got cones all over the place and stuff like that. And the generative fill stuff just makes it so easy to like take out a cone. I just outline it, click generative fill, generate, and it takes a second, but then it'll go through and just kind of remove stuff. Um, Also easier than using something like the spot tool, which I feel like before all the AI stuff, it was sometimes certain things would work, sometimes it wouldn't. But the AI stuff just makes like outlining, even just like big stuff like this big part on the road that you'd probably want to get rid of. You can do the generate fill, and it usually does a pretty good job of removing that kind of stuff.
I got a side question.
Yeah.
What, do you know the information about that property?
This property?
This is a
No, this is just like some random one.
I know it's.
Well,
Why are you looking to buy it?
no, we both are looking at it as the development of why. Yeah. It appears to be a self-storage facility rehab of some sort. A redevelopment. It doesn't look like a ground up. I just didn't know if y'all knew the answer or what the backstory was.
You just
That's a
picked-
unique, that's a unique property.
You just picked a random photo, I think, right?
Yeah, this is just some random like place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of the things.
Yeah.
The
And
things
also
like,
kind of what you were talking about with like adding stuff like Photoshop, with this generative fill, you can also like type in the prompt, like you're saying, like, I don't know why you would want a tree right here, but if you wanted a tree right here, there have been times where like, I remember I had an agent ask me, hey, this palm tree looks like it's dead. Can you like Photoshop it? And in the past, I would say no, or like, I'll try. But now you can kind of just like create stuff like this, and if you don't like what it made, you can regenerate it, try again. So this is just like a really interesting tool that Adobe added that I think is super helpful.
our guidelines and rules in our department are we don't change anything structural. So
Yeah.
like, if the roofing is not gonna be done, we're not gonna touch the roofing to misrepresent what the state of the roof is.
Really?
Same thing with like the asphalt.
Oh, I crop all of that stuff out. I mean, it's a perfectly TPO'd roof by the time I'm done with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like adding all these beautiful trees out right here if they aren't actually there, you know. But it is a really good tool for just like making, this is a good picture, but it has a bunch of junk all over the place and it could be better.
Usually we coordinate with like, if it's a property that we manage, and they're telling us like, hey, we're redoing the asphalt and they're gonna come back and go over this part. And there's a job order that's related to that, we can say, okay, well, we'll clean that up, but we're not gonna do it if there's no future something happening that's real where somebody's gonna actually fix that, because we don't want to misrepresent the property and then have people show up and be like, what the hell is this?
So we've actually used it in conjunction with our management team, and then some of the brokers doing pitches for projects where they're looking at changing the color of the building or doing facade improvements. So we use this tool to propose what we would think would look good. And it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. Not natural property.
Yeah, that's true.
A little investment. With your 6.3.
But first improvements.
That's pretty much all I have. If you guys have any questions or things that you guys wanted to talk about,
Or testing houses.
This is in line, but it's not in line. Are your brokers, any of them doing video blogs or videoing from spaces or?
We have our first one scheduled for next week with one of our brokers. We're gonna figure that out. We use ChatGPT to write the script and then we're gonna edit it and maybe we'll try After Effects.
Okay.
Some of our guys created a YouTube channel. And they're using that, and they're walking the space with their phone with a gimbal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're using AI to create a video around that explanation.
No, I just, you know. I just think video, the medium itself is probably. Is good for the broker's brand as well as the company's brand. And you know, we actually did a tour. Where we had some people that we'd run a list for. And then we did a video on every space, in front of every space, walking the building prior to them even coming to town. And so on my YouTube channel, I can, and it was a private link, so I can see who's coming, going, how many times it's been. And we saw pretty quick the interest in which spaces they were going back to. And it was interesting. Now, it took a lot of time and a lot of effort. And it was a big deal, but I'm curious. I was curious to see how other people are using video and where it might be going. And what if your brokers come to you with crazy ideas? I want to do this with video.
We are not as heavy in the industrial, y'all are own industrial. We don't have that kind of industrial presence. So our equivalent of what you're talking about would be sharing Matterports. We have a Matterport on almost all of our retail and office flyers that we do in-house, and that shows the prospective client the space prior to touring.
Same for us. We use Matterport more than like a walkthrough video. I could never get my brokers to do a video. I couldn't get them to put their face on anything. It would be like horrible. It would be like the worst thing ever.
You know,
if I had a script, they'd be like,
Let's
and
relate.
then this is the space.
You know, most
What I was thinking of it.
most brokers, we usually have pretty big egos. It's amazing that we don't like our faces on them.
Yeah.
I was watching this video on HubSpot and they're doing something where they take a picture of you and AI makes a video of you and
Make
you
you talk.
just talk and you talk over it, and so then you can they don't have to be on video, but
Yeah.
as long as they can take the picture of it.
Yeah.
This is I have another AI tool right here that I've kind of just like looked into a little. But it's basically like you enter the script that you want, or if you want to do like a voiceover video, and you can generate basically someone else saying it, I guess you could say. So this is just like a random script that I found one time and I threw it in, and it'll generate
Nestled in the sought-after
this
northern
voice.
Elkhorn, Wisconsin, Copper Square Apartment Homes presents an exceptional multifamily investment opportunity. This expansive 12.6-acre development site on West Market Street is poised for success.
So if your brokers don't like reading the scripts, there is an AI option for that too.
Have you had problems with the pronunciation of things? We use Revoicer, which is similar to this, it looks like. And to get them to say www.fcpg.com, we literally had to write out double U, like why do you double U, like it was kind of finicky. I mean, maybe it's just in the early stages, but I was curious if you guys
I've noticed with numbers it's not good, and so you have to like type out 22 unit 43. I think that this website actually has ways to like put emphasis on certain things if you want. It also has kind of like what you're saying, Like you're saying that you use like a re-speech type thing where like you say it and then it changes the voice?
No, it's called Revoicer is the platform. You enter the script in just like you've done, and then it outputs your audio with whatever voice you choose.
Okay, yeah, this one has like, yeah, multiple voices and stuff. I haven't had I've only used this a couple times just to like see how it works. But every example that I've given it has actually been like pretty impressive. This one's called 11 Labs. This also has like a free version and a paid version. And then I think this also has like a voice changing type thing where if you did like read a script, you just wanted a different voice on it, I think it would change it to a different voice.
Y'all have an AI voice on everybody's voicemail?
So like you call and you get their voicemail,
Right.
but the prompt that says you have reached so-and-so at First Capital. We've used the AI to create that. We also have we outsource, to hold music or whatever, but we also have a third party that created our brand sound, and now we've done that, but that would be another option to use. Like if we do I'm out of the office you can customize them easy if you wanted to.
All right, Michelle. We need voicemail.
Okay.
Thank you, Matthew.
Good Scottish.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We put together, like I said, we've got a resource guide for all of you that have attended. You're gonna put it out to everybody, I guess, that's
Sure.
asked for
We
it.
have the video recorded too.
Yeah, yeah, we recorded the session, so we'll record that and link this with it in PDF so that you guys have what you need. Yeah. Good job, thank you.
Thank you. Have fun.
We're gonna use this. So everybody can write their name and company, and then we'll send you.
Thanks, Matthew. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Oh, wow.